Good morning. I'm still in Jerusalem and it's a beautiful, beautiful day. It's the first one, yeah, March 1st. Look how beautiful is the day and the sky is so blue. And this is the symbol of Jerusalem, and you can see me, and as I promise you, you will try to see me at least for 10 seconds every time, just like you actually asked me. Here I am. Hello to you. Ooh. I'm in Jerusalem here, waiting for a couple that I will take to Masada. But meanwhile, I'm at one of the most beautiful and unknown gardens. It's you will see where it is. Then let's start with it. See you. Bye bye. We are next to the walls of Jerusalem. That is Jaffa Gate. Right there. One of the 8 gates of Jerusalem, and you can see the wall of Jerusalem, and the sun is in our eyes. It's in your eyes as well, but we will actually try to do something with it. Here it is. Mount Zion is, I cannot see it. All right, you can see the big structure there. This is the Mission Church, the House of Mary. It's next to the tomb of King David. It's next to the tomb of Oscar Schindler from Schindler's List. It's next to the High Priest House. It's next to the room of the Last Supper, the Cenaculum. Then there are so many things here. Until 1948, that was the border between Israel and Jordan. Jordan occupied the old city. The old city was supposed to be part of United Nations. And this is the Israeli side. The other side was supposed to be the Palestinian side, but it's been occupied by Jordan until 1967. And as a child, I could see it from here. And you can see those beautiful houses of Yemin Moshe, a very nice neighborhood. That was the border neighborhood, and they actually suffer a lot. Then just next to, very close to 1967, smart people bought their houses for nothing, and now it's one of the richest neighborhoods of Jerusalem. But we are not here because of it. Then let me show you why I'm actually visiting that place, and only at the end of the tour I will tell you who might be or maybe not was buried here. First of all, that sign tells you that it belongs to the Greek Orthodox. This is the Tapos. And sadly, although that garden belongs to Israel, that places that I will show you are not. Then the situation of it is, how should I say it in a nice word? So. Oh, wait. Yeah, now we can see better. Then, in that case, we are going to see a special rock-cut cave that's used as a very rich Jewish family burial site. And I will try to convince you that it was a very rich family. And we will talk about how Jews, and in that case, how Jesus was actually been buried, because it's the same thing. Then in that case, when a Jew will die, and let's take my mother as an example for it. My mother was a Jewish woman, and when she died in last August, they bury her at the same day. Why? Because this is the Jewish law. Then if you remember Jesus was crucified at around 12, died around 3 o'clock, and buried at 5 p.m. Why 5 p.m.? Why not 10 p.m.? Because the Jewish calendar is different. A day begins from sunset to sunset. Then in that case, they bury Jesus before sunset, before the holiday begins, and holiday begins only at sunset. I know that it's different than than so many other places. Oh, for example, Christians. Then in that case, they buried my mother the same day. We already knows it. Well, another thing that we know, difficult to see, but here you could see again the Tapos, that gives you the idea of what belongs to whom. It's very important for so many. Then in that case, they buried her at the same day. The purified the body, and me as your son had to enter to see my mother for the last time, to tell the one who will bury her, yes, it's my mom. It's something that I will never forget. And she was covered with a shroud all over, including the face. Then, if you remember, Jesus was purified by Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea, and they put a shroud around her. Here you can see the Tapos, and there's another one. But then in that case, in that structure, this is Israel, this belongs to Israel, belongs to the Greek Orthodox. They buried my mother without a casket, without coming straight into the ground, from dust to dust. And that's what happened to Jesus. They purified him, they put a shroud around him and around his face. Remember, Mary Magdalene found it later on, or even St. Peter saw it as well. And that's it. Here you can see a very rich man's tomb. How do I know it? First of all, let's look at the stones here. I don't know what it used to be, but I won't be surprised that it is actually used to be the Nefesh, the memorial site. You can see that it wasn't built by simple people, or by institute, or by very rich people. Another important thing I forgot to mention is that a Jew will be buried inside the city. It's always outside the city. Then in that case, use of the walls were not outside the city. I know that so many of you are asking me, I know that so many of you are asking me about how can it be that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre today is in the center of the city, surrounded with a wall. Then for some of the Christians, it might be not the tomb. I'm not going to argue. It can be true, but you must understand that the city of today is not the city of Jesus' time. City of Jesus' time is 2,000 years old. Think about your city 2,000 years ago. Different. Then in that case, let's go into that structure, and I will tell you exactly why it's so unique here. Rich man. And you can see that that area wasn't a house. It wasn't empty. They surrounded the rock, the bedrock, with that wall. Then it could be something else, maybe a memorial site. And that's why the Greek Orthodox at the 19th century thought that it might be owned by someone special. You have to wait for that. And what we are seeing here, first of all, quarry. Someone did it. It's not artificial. It wasn't made by. It is artificial. It wasn't made by God. And you can see more stones that can be something bigger than that. And here there's an entrance to a cave, a burial site, which sadly it's closed. I took so many videos of burial sites that it's less important. But what is important here, that we find the running stone that cover the entrance, here it is, of the cave. in that case, it might be. And I think it's the only rolling stone, or one of the few that we found in situ. You can see the tunnel. In it, as I believe, but I've never been there because it's closed, you could see some niches to put the body in it. Let's say that if it's a rich family, it might be that it's a tomb of 10 people, right? Richer than other families. What will happen to the 11th body? There's no more space for them. Aha. It's a tricky question. And it's important because of the story of Jesus as well. Then in that case, maybe, it's not maybe, that's what they used to do that. They used to open the old burial site. They used to put the bones in a box by the name ossuary, and maybe, and that's the maybe, there, it was kind of a storeroom that you could put those boxes in it. Maybe, I don't know, because it looks like it, but I don't know for sure. Then, in that case, who owns it? Before we will continue to talk about it, let me show you another burial cave. It's been destroyed. It's not so clean, sadly. And I hope that the Greek Orthodox will clean it soon. You can hear the bells of the church. That was another burial cave, a big one. As you can understand, and if it's a big one, it's owned by someone very rich, a Jewish family. If the family was poor, and most of the Jews were poor, they buried her in a hole. Just, dig a hole and that's it. Rich people could build themselves mansions. Then you can see that it used to be a cave, and I want to show you that nothing actually left from the tombs. This time the tomb is open, but I think it's been robbed so many times and been destroyed a million times. But let me show you that it used to be very important and of rich people. Look at the ancient stones. We are talking about the 1st century. And the other one is 1st century tomb as well. Look how beautiful is the entrance to the cave. The cave was here, and that's the entrance to the cave. And let me show you from there. Oops! Look at the almond tree. Look how beautiful it is. Then, where was the entrance? Here it is. You can see the tunnel here. Then the rolling stone was between that stone and that stone, right here. The rolling stone is gone, just like the rest of the cave. And as you can see, the situation of it is not so good. And let me show you where the storeroom of the ossuaries, the bone boxes, could be. And then I will tell you who was buried there according to the Greek Orthodox. We are very close to King David Hotel. And now you know how to reach it. If you go to the King David Hotel, to the entrance, turn right and make a round tour around the King David Hotel, and I will show you exactly where. And you know how to reach that beautiful garden. It's not only that, it's just beautiful. Until then, please subscribe to my channel. Tapos, Greek Orthodox. You can see that someone did something here. It's not artificial. It's artificial, it's not made by people. And sadly, it's not so nice to see what you're going to see here, but you can see the plaster here. That maybe that was the entrance. If you will excavate here, maybe you'll find a cave. Or maybe that was the cave, but it's really difficult to understand. If the other side was the burial site for sure, that maybe here it was the storeroom for the Osiris. Alright, you want to know who owns it? Then let me take you now to see it, and I will show you the street. Again, King David Hotel is there. What do you think was buried here? Let me see if we can go out from here. I'm usually make a round tour, but I'm almost sure that we will be able to go out. Yes, we can. Remember, that could be the storage of the burial cave with the rolling stone. All right, you would say it soon. Are you ready for it? One, two, three. This is the tomb and the monument which King Herod built for his family. This is according to Josephus, the Jewish war. Now, why they actually thought about it? And I must say that I couldn't understand it. It's so, first of all, you can see that we're talking about someone very rich, maybe royal. We know through Josephus that he buried himself in a place that he could see the old city from there, or Jerusalem. At that time it was only Jerusalem. Then, maybe. Today we know where is the tomb of King Herod, Herodion, not far away from Bethlehem, in the Judean desert. And one thing that you must know as well is that if you want to see the tombstone of him, at 2010 we found it, and you can visit the Israeli Museum in Jerusalem, which is, if you ask me, a must. And then you will be able to visit it. Then where we are, can we reach that garden? This is King David Street, to your right side and to your left side. That is King David Hotel. The entrance of King David Hotel is from there. Then you can see YMCA. And what you have to do is to stand in front of the entrance and then walk to here, the first street to the left. Sadly, I don't see any street name of that street. Then you have to guess. Then thank you very much for being with me. I'm going to take my family of today, and I hope that you will be my future families. See you in my next video. Bye bye.